Hey guys, Jaryd Krause, host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast. And today I'm speaking with Tim Soulo, who's the CMO and the product advisor at Ahrefs. And Ahrefs is the most looked at SaaS SEO service online. They're very, very popular. Most of my clients use them and most of you guys would have heard of them as well. If you haven't, check them out. In this episode, Tim and I talk about what to look for when we're doing SEO due diligence and how you can do that through Ahrefs. We also talk about how to produce amazing content and why we should be content focused first to growing our online businesses. And we also have some controversial topics that Tim and I talk about, one of which is why it's overrated and why you don't need to be ranked number one in Google to get more traffic over your competitors and scale your site that way. We also talk about why you don't need an email list to grow your website's revenue. And then listen all the way to the end because Tim and I talk about what we believe it means to be an absolutely amazing marketer. So in this episode, if you're looking to buy a website and scale it and become an amazing marketer and boost your website's revenue, make sure you listen to this whole episode because it's an absolute awesome piece of content. Today's episode is brought to you by Investors Club. Investors Club is a marketplace for serious buyers interested in proven businesses that aren't listed anywhere else. There is a free membership where you can get access to 14-day-old listings and can purchase due diligence reports for $47 each. Or if you become a paid member, you can get instant access to every single listing, unlimited due diligence reports, no fee escrow services, access to exclusive offers from Investor Club partners, and priority support. Now, sellers do sign a 2-month exclusivity agreement to only list with Investors Club. There are no purchase fees or commission, meaning the seller nor the buyer ever pay commission in any deal. And every due diligence report provides next level metrics to make sure due diligence is far less time consuming, making it quicker for you to seal the deal. Also, Investors Club have a great Q&A support available both for buyers and sellers. I'm a full member myself personally, and a lot of thought and effort has gone into this service. However, there are a limited amount of seats for this membership, so go and check them out at that URL, investors.club. That is investors.club. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Buying Online Businesses podcast. Today we have a special guest, Tim Soulo. Is that correct? Soulo?
Yeah, Solo. Yeah, like Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo. So Tim Soulo. Great to have you on, Tim. Welcome and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for inviting me, Jaryd. Do I pronounce your name right, by the way?
Yeah.
Jaryd?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So, we're having a bit of a chat and we're just talking about, everybody that's listening to this is they're looking to buy sites, and a big portion of them either have sites or they want to scale them as well. And a lot of the community that I work with, people that join our community and learn how to buy a website business, they jump on, they do that course, they learn how to grow the site as well, and they're using Ahrefs. Right? We're pushing people to Ahrefs because you guys are definitely an industry leader and so helpful for people doing due diligence. So what would you say, like, for somebody that's looking to buy a website, like what are some of the things that people should be using Ahrefs for checking like SEO due diligence? Because that's a big part. SEO due diligence is huge, especially for a content site, right?
Yeah, of course. Oh, where do I even start?
It's a loaded one, yeah.
This is a great question because in Ahrefs, we actually the point of Ahrefs is basically to do like due diligence either for your own website or for your competitors. So most of our customers use our tools. One of the main use cases is to figure out what your competitors are doing, how healthy their websites, where they are going, and all that. So if someone is looking to buy a website, first and foremost, it is like the estimation of search traffic, like how much search traffic the website is getting. Because if you're looking to buy a business that would like run more or less passively, or you want to build it to run passively, you need to rely on search traffic, because search traffic is somewhat free. So it's not like entirely free because you have to work towards building it up. But then from then it is free. Now you don't have to pay for ads. So the first thing you want to look at is how much search traffic the website is getting in total. we have estimation, and the estimation, like, because it's just an estimation, it is what it is. It may be off. Like, sometimes we overestimate, sometimes we underestimate, but this is the best you get, apart from like asking, well, if you're serious about buying, you can always request like screenshots from Google Analytics, from Google Search Console, or even have access to those things. But still, in Ahrefs, you can do some like preliminary research before you actually like get in touch with someone and start talking. So after you look at the total number of search traffic, what I usually do is I go to a report called Top Pages, because like the total number of search traffic to a website doesn't really mean much unless you see what kind of topics are bringing search traffic to this website. I usually like, when I speak at conferences, I make fun of a company by the name HubSpot. They have one of the biggest blogs in the internet marketing industry. Their blog is getting like 6 million visits from Google per month, according to Ahrefs estimation. But when you go to the Top Pages report of their blog and you look which article brings them the most traffic, and this article is bringing them, as far as I remember, over 100,000 visits per month from search. It's like how to make shrug emoji, how to type shrug emoji. So like HubSpot is a software for marketers, so they need to create content that would convert people to like users of their software. And like, how is article on making shrug emoji helping them? Like, they could, if they wanted traffic, they could start writing about Kim Kardashian and all that, and it would bring tons of traffic to their website. But does it convert? So yeah, it is very important. Other than looking, unless of course you sell ads. If you monetize your website by selling like banner ads or like AdSense or whatever, or some like affiliate offers that are like don't have specific niche, usually like how to make money online or like whatever, it converts on all sorts of traffic. So unless you're doing that, you need to see what like the topics of the traffic. So this is very important.
Yeah, so important, because what's the intent of those people bring? Like, some people like, yeah, I just want more traffic to come to my site, give me more and more traffic.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, you can make more with less traffic as long as that traffic is highly targeted traffic. Obviously what you're saying is like HubSpot don't have the highest targeted traffic for the intent of what they want that traffic to do, to move through their content and into a sale. So that's a huge point. I like the top pages in Ahrefs because it's also a risk minimization strategy for people that are looking to buy a site. Is when they look at the top pages on that site they're looking to buy, they may see that a certain amount of the like a 50% or 80% of the traffic is coming to like 3 or 4 articles. And if one of those articles gets hit, they could lose a lot of traffic, right? So what I suggest people do is to ensure that they're, as a risk minimization strategy, if they're going to buy this website, that they actually create more content that is as good or better than that original content to diversify the traffic that comes to it. So that's an important thing to understand. So they just understand the risks.
Yeah, of course. One other important thing that like the top level analysis that I wanted to mention is if the site was built like in a healthy way, or if there's some shady stuff going on, and you usually can see that by how many backlinks the website was acquiring over time. So in Ahrefs Site Explorer tool, we have the graph of how many backlinks the website was getting over time. And the thing is, the curve should be as like gradual as possible. So it should start like slowly and like gradually grow to more and more backlinks. Because usually what some people do, they launch a new website, they upload a ton of content to this website, and then they go ahead and buy a lot of links. So in a short period of time, all of a sudden, website gets like a ton of links, and Google starts ranking that website for a lot of keywords. So the traffic seems healthy, everything is growing, and this is when those people would sell this website. But what happens next is like Google algorithms catch up like with the backlink profile of the website. They realize that all those backlinks were like low quality or paid or whatever, and the website would be penalized. So at the time you buy it, it may be like all shiny and growing and like everything is doing well. But like in a few months after you buy it, it will be penalized for the like scheduling building practices. and like your money is wasted. So it is very important to look at the growth of the backlink profile. The more like gradual it is, the more slow it is, the better. So if the website was building backlinks for the past 2 years, it is very healthy. If the website shot up in the past 6 months, like a lot of backlinks, a lot of traffic, something sketchy is going on, and I would like wait for another 6 months to see if it will drop back to nothing, or if it will stay that way.
Yeah, it's the principle, like it's one of the laws that what goes up, just as fast can come down just as fast. Yeah. And that's why we have the black hat and the white hat tactics. We want to make sure we're doing everything above board that what Google wants at that period of time, to make sure, like, it's the same when somebody wants to scale their site another way as well, Tim, is that they're just trying to they'll chuck a whole bunch of money into it and not know what's working. And then they can grow it to a certain level, but then it's going to break down because they don't know, they can't maintain it, they can't sustain it. And it just ends up going nowhere. It's the same with anything. It's like if I go away and exercise, I go, all right, I'm going to lose 10 kilos in 10 weeks or something like that, or 10 kilos in 10 days. And I go and run a 20K the first day. The next 5 days, I'm not going to be able to run because I've broken my body. And what goes up comes down really fast as well. So I thought that you said that, because that's something that people need to look at when they're buying sites, in not just like with the backlink profile, but it's the same with so many different, the content and all that sort of stuff as well. So what's some of the other tools that you find would be very useful for somebody that's looking to break down a bit more of the SEO profile of a site they're trying to buy? Obviously, traffic, like you said, is so important. Backlinks are so important. You recommending people look at the time on page, the speed of the page, different things like that, keywords?
Yeah, so another important thing is, it depends on your plans. So if you're buying a website and your intention is to let it sit there and bring you passive traffic, that's one thing. But if you're buying a website and your goal is to like 3x or 5x the revenue, and it's a content website, you will have to create more content. So the question is, how big, how wide is the topic? How many more like articles you can write? How many more search traffic potential you have there? So the answer to this is keyword research, because once you look at the top pages of a website, you can see all the topics that they have already nailed with their pages, and or like some of the pages might be covering a topic but not ranking well, so you'll need to update them. So first you look at the existing pages, how deep they are covering the industry that the website is in. So for example, if a website is about beards, so there are like beard trimmers for beards, there are like some cosmetic products for beards, and I don't even know, I don't have an affiliate website in beards industry, but you get the point. So there are certain things related to that niche, and you can look at the website and see how many of those topics they have covered already. But then you can we have a report called competing domains, which shows you other websites in that industry. And what you can do is browse their top pages and see how many other topics there are in this space that you could cover on your website. So how far can you expand the content of this website? How much more you can grow? Because sometimes people would sell like super niche websites. For example, they do review of only electric toothbrushes, and there are not too many of them, to be honest. Like the top brands are like 3 or 5 toothbrushes, and that's it. So, and if the website, if the domain is specifically targeting, is focused on electric toothbrushes, you cannot really all of a sudden start reviewing dental floss and all that. So you have to see what's the potential of the website, how many topics can you cover. If it is super narrowly focused, that's it. But if it is some brand like dentalcare.com or whatever, it means that you can cover, you can broaden it to all sorts of topics. So this is the next thing that I would look at. But again, it depends on your intention. Do you plan just to buy it and let it sit, or do you plan to hire a few people to work on it and expand the topics and grow your revenue?
Yeah, most people listening will be wanting to buy it and scale it and grow the revenue. And that's what the tool's designed for, is to grow your site. It's a massive benefit that you can use it to do due diligence on the SEO profile of a site that you're looking to buy, which is awesome. And that's what a lot of us are using it for. But what its like intention is to like look at the competitors. And that's a huge thing. I think people miss out when they're growing their site is they kind of like, all right, I just need to go away and put a bunch of gusto behind. I'm going to create a whole bunch of content, and they do some keyword research, and they don't even have in their field of vision that they should be looking at their competitors, which is important because if their competitors are ranked quite high in Google and they're gaining a bunch of traffic for that particular keyword, then look at that keyword, similar keywords, and what that content actually is, because then you can not just copy that content. We never copy here, guys. We always model. And then you can model that content to make your content even better than theirs and get ranked, higher anyway, and gain so much traffic that way. And the preparation is so important in that content production, right, Tim? Like, it's not just, I'm just going to slap together Google says 1,000 words with a couple of images, a keyword, and tick the boxes. It's more to it, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So let's talk more about the content marketing as well, because content marketing is quite important. What advice would you give to somebody who's either wanting to create content on top of what I've just said, that's already creating content or has just bought a site and wants to scale their site? What advice would you give to them? Because I've seen your content and it's top notch. Like, guys, go away and check out, just Google Tim Soulo, his name, and you'll see that he's on a bunch of different blogs, and just the titles themselves are great. So don't copy his work. You may be able to model it, but for your own niche as well. But yeah, what are some of the advice that you would give, Tim, to people wanting to do that?
Yeah, so first of all, I really like how you say don't copy, model. Like the famous saying goes, great artists don't copy, they steal.
Yeah.
And what steal means is you make work your own. So by stealing, you're stealing from someone, but it becomes your own. So the thing is, you have to do something unique so that even if people would see that you kind of like someone influenced your work, it is your work, it is unique, you've stolen it. So you've added something that made it your own. And the answer to this, how to like steal content, how to make someone's own work your own, is having your own expertise. So again, back to dental website. So if I were to buy a dental website, I'm not a dentist, right? So I cannot write articles with expertise and like cover the topics in a way that would benefit my readers, where they would get like sufficient information on the topic, because I have no idea about the topic. And they cannot just hire like a random copywriter who would go out, like read a bunch of articles about like dental stuff and be able to come up with an amazing article. That just doesn't happen. This is copying. This is not modeling. So what you can do to create great content, if you're not like, first of all, preferably, you should be a subject matter expert yourself. So this is why, like, I would recommend people, if they're looking to buy websites, and especially if this is like their first website that they want to buy it in a niche that is as close to your interests as possible. And like, preferably, if you have some hobby, try to buy a website like within that fits your hobby, because this way you'll have great understanding what kind of content should be there, what is good content, what is bad content, etc. But then if you're branching out to other topics, if you're building your like website empire in niches where you're not specifically an expert, what you can do is you can hire experts to help you. So whatever industry you're in, there are consultants. Even like if someone is not like consultant like officially, for example, if there's some dentist and they're not doing consulting, they're just doing their work, you can still pay for their time and like do an interview with them. Like, for example, like we're doing interview with you now. Almost no one would deny like free exposure. So if you approach some dentist and like offer them to talk about some topics that are of interest to you that you want to cover on your website, and you will give them credit, they will say yes. So yeah, if you want to create great content, either you have to be subject matter expert or you have to involve subject matter experts. Sometimes they would be happy to do it for free, like in exchange for exposure and all that. But usually, for example, at Ahrefs, we try to respect work of others. So whenever we ask for from someone to contribute to our article, and I'm not just talking about like a simple like one paragraph quote, but actually like review our article, add their thoughts, etc., we would pay for their time. So this is just the right thing to do. So if you want to build a website that would outperform everyone else in terms of quality of content, depth of content, just like find subject matter experts and pay for their consulting. So you might have copywriters who would actually write the articles, but then you need to have subject matter experts who would provide like the meat of the content, some unique things and ideas, and who would also offer their credibility. Because if you have quotes from people who have like some titles in the field or whatever, your articles become like 300% more credible. One great example of this is there's a blog called Wait But Why. It's a pretty popular blog. It covers like all sorts of topics. And the guy wrote an article about artificial intelligence, but he's not a subject expert on an artificial intelligence. So what he did is he talked to Elon Musk, who's one of the like top people in the field, like one of the pioneers of artificial intelligence, and has a good understanding of like of the top level. It's not like the bottom level things where you would actually code it, but the top level things like where it is all going, what are the threats,
the principles and the strategies.
Yeah, exactly. And he published an article that came to be out of his conversations with Elon Musk. So the guy, like, he wasn't an expert in artificial intelligence, but right now everyone is referring to his article because he kind of co-wrote it with Elon Musk. So this is what I'm offering people to do.
Yeah, and Elon basically is a robot himself. He's just so smart. I reckon there's some sort of AI going on in the back of his brain anyway. But I love this concept as well. This is basically a huge part of what Jim Collins writes about in Good to Great. It's not about, where the bus is going to go. It's about having the right people on the bus. And if you have the right people on the bus, which we mean those experts, like you said, you could pay them, right? Or you could do an interview with them, or you could give them accreditation, whichever way that's going to be value for them on their end as well. But the main idea is having those right people on the content bus with you to create something that's not just good, but very valuable. Otherwise, it's not going to get shared like this article has, and it's not going to get the traffic. We want to make something so good that it's not just at the top of the Google, but people are posting on social media saying, well, holy crap, like Elon Musk said this about that, that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like coming to Google as well, I noticed you say ranking number 1 in Google is overrated. And I want to bring that up as well. And it's a shock to a lot of people, especially people that are affiliate marketers and, have content sites with just ads. It's just a massive shock. But with a massive shock or great shock comes change, right? Yeah. And I'd love to hear you talk about why this is so other people can understand why being ranked on Google isn't the be all and end all, or getting ranked number 1, on Google isn't the be and all, so they can change themselves as well. Talk to us a little bit about that if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of people obsess about their rankings. They want to rank number 1 or they want to rank top 3. So here at Ahrefs, we have tons of data about like where pages rank and how much search traffic they're getting in total, because pages don't rank for just one keyword alone. So if you rank for like best toothbrush, you probably also rank for what is the best toothbrush or best toothbrush 2020. So people don't search for things word for word in the exact same way. Different people would phrase their search queries differently. And Google is smart enough to figure out like what the search query is about and rank more or less the same pages for like similar search queries. So that's the thing. And we did a study. We wanted to know like if the ranking of the page, where it ranks for a certain keyword, like 1, 2, 3 in Google, if it correlates with how much search traffic that page is getting in total from all the keywords that it is ranking for. And of course, there is the correlation. So the higher you rank, the more traffic you're going to get in total. But there were many cases, and I don't remember, probably like if you can link to the research from the description, because from the podcast description, because I don't remember the exact numbers, but something
Sure.
like, I think it was like half of the time, the number one ranking page wasn't the one getting the most traffic in total. So you might not be the number one ranking page for like best toothbrush, but because your article is so deep, it covers the topic so deep, you rank for so many other keywords. You don't rank like number one for any of them, but you cover so many topics in your article that you rank for a ton of keywords in position number 2 or number 3, and in total you're getting more traffic than other articles that outrank you. So the takeaway here is that you can go like super focused on just one keyword, like best toothbrush like 2020, and only like review toothbrushes that I don't know, that were released in 2020. So let's do this kind of example.
Yeah.
But some other person might create an article that is like best toothbrush of 2020, and they can cover like all the electrical toothbrushes, all the like regular toothbrushes. They could also like throw in some like dental floss reviews, etc., and they would have like a huge resource with a lot of information that would rank for a ton of keywords. So even though they wouldn't rank number one for like best toothbrush 2020, because of all other like smaller subtopics that they're mentioning on their page, they would be able to collect more traffic in total. So yeah, the action point here, so I told you the takeaway. The action point here is whatever topic you want to cover on your website. So in Ahrefs, we have a cool report in Keywords Explorer. If you type a keyword, a search query that you want to target, and scroll down in Keywords Explorer, you'll see like the search results. We pull the top 10 search results for your query, and we show you the SEO metrics of each search result, how many backlinks each page gets, and how much traffic it gets in total. So review the SERP and see how much traffic the top ranking pages for your topic are getting in total, and then open those pages and see if a website is ranking, if a page is ranking lower but it gets more traffic than some other pages. Open this article and see like what makes it get so much traffic. Is it like how many backlinks it has, or is it like how deep they go into content? Because some of the time what I'm seeing, I think a good example is chocolate Labrador. So Labrador is the type of breed of a dog. And chocolate is like specific color, and I think it's also a specific breed. So if you Google for chocolate Labrador, you'll see a Wikipedia page ranking there, but Wikipedia page is for Labradors in general. But because it's Wikipedia and because of how many backlinks that page has, they only have like a subsection about chocolate Labradors, but Google is still ranking them for that keyword. So this is a good example where a page is not specifically focused on chocolate Labradors specifically. It is focused on Labradors in general, but because of the authority of the page and how many backlinks it has, Google would rank it for these like niche keyword. So that's the takeaway and the action point.
Yeah, I love that. It's the depth of it, really. I guess we could start to work out the depth of value a piece of content should have, and I guess people should start measuring that, you know, in their own form. They may have an Excel sheet, or you could create an Excel sheet on the depth of value that these competitive articles may have, and then just add in more value to the one that you want to create. And it might not be a super relevant keyword or a super not relevant, but super competitive keyword, but it could get ranked higher and get more traffic. And, you know, maybe it's not just the depth that you've got some scientific research that's just come out, but would you suggest, you know, you could have different quotes and you could split the content up into different, you know, colors, and then you could also split it up by putting images and embed videos from different sources, just supporting it to make it just so damn valuable that it's, you know, the one thing that, you know, if you created that Labrador article, you could create all the, you know, you could have a black lab, chocolate lab, white lab. Then you could also add in that article, you know, what they should be eating, how many times they should get walked, all these different types of things. And that's that one article on the internet that just pulls most of the traffic, but it's only ranking for Labrador advice or something like that. Is that what you're meaning?
Yes and no, because it is like in the example that you've just made. At a certain point, people would start asking, when should I put everything into one article?
Yeah.
And when should I branch it out into like smaller articles to target those narrow topics? This is why I said that the action point is to observe the SERP, the search result pages, and see what is ranking there, how much traffic it gets, and how does it get this traffic. So Google is pretty good in figuring out what people want. They study how people behave after clicking on the search result. So if people click and bounce back and click on something else, they know that the result isn't any good. So sometimes just by bloating your article, by adding everything you can there, you make it so intimidating that people will just close it and go read like 500-word article that would answer their question. So the answer is really study the search results, see who ranks where and how much traffic they get in total, and then like analyze their articles and analyze their backlinks to understand how they're doing it. So this is the answer.
Yeah, and it is a great answer, and I'm glad that you mentioned that there is a difference there. And I think a good thing for people to understand about this is like those of people that don't have Ahrefs and a tool to get this data is that when you have this data, it's going to save you not just time, but it's also going to save you money, because you can always earn more money, but you can't earn more time. And you could just spend so much time creating just content on content on content and running around in circles and hitting your head on the wall and not getting ranked, B, not getting articles out there that are valuable enough. So I think that the data's invaluable, really. So it's a different way to look at it.
And the thing is, we only charge $7 for $7 trial.
Yeah,
with like
we'll put a link to that too.
Yeah, with full access to everything. So what a lot of people do, you might check the prices page and see that our packages start at $100 and think that it is too expensive. I cannot pay $100 per month or like more than $100 per month. But the thing is, if you sign up for our $7 trial, you pay just $7, which is like price of a coffee in like a lot of cities. And then in a week, because you get like full access to all our tools and reports, you can do so much research that the trial is all you need. It will keep you busy for the next like 6 to 8 months. And then you can come back and probably, I don't know, take another trial or pay for a full month, depending on your situation. So it's not that you have to like sign up for Ahrefs and you only get value if you pay like each month for like a year. No, it doesn't work like that. You can get in 3 hours, you can get a lot of value, cancel your account, work on it, and only subscribe when you feel that your business has grown so significantly and you hired so many full-time employees that you need to do like this kind of research every day.
Yeah.
So a lot of people misunderstand that actually the initial investment is super small, as low as like $7 to do a ton of research and start like working at your websites for the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, that's right. Just spend like a good couple of days just setting out your content marketing schedule for yourself, or even just one VA that you might have or a small team. $7, yes. The amount of value you can get in 1 week, and then come back in a year when you've scaled to, if you've got a smaller site, when you're making, $2,000 a month or more or something like that. I love that you said that, because that's the most important thing is the value. How are people going to get the value? And you shed light on that with your tool. A lot of people
well, we don't have sales team. So when you sign up for a trial with us, no one is going to call you and try to persuade you to sign up. So we don't have salespeople at all. We are self-serve. So we are happy that you will get value by paying us just $7, and we'll just patiently wait until your business gets to the point where you need us consistently. That's our philosophy.
Yeah, and it's a good philosophy, because when you're doing 40 mil a year and you're not using a sales team, it works, right? And it's just it's the value that you give and the intent that you guys are using for everybody to use, self-serving, and they can choose how they want to use it. I want to talk about an email list, and I saw something about your ideology around not needing to build an email list to grow your business if you've got great content. And that's some of what Ahrefs is doing as well. And also for myself, I know that some people will just sit on my podcast and listen to it for 6 months or a year. They won't even jump on to getting one of my due diligence framework reports, jumping onto my email list and getting stuff like that. They'll just go, okay, cool, I'm ready to go, and come and join our community. Can you explain that in further detail why this actually works though? Because some people may be missing the invisible here.
Yeah, so this is a great question. Actually, whether you need or don't need an email list, it depends on the nature of your business and nature of your content marketing. Because think about it. When people sign up to your email list, they want to get email updates from you for some reason. Usually the reason for that, if you observe your own habits of which emails you're reading and who you are subscribed to via email, those would be people or businesses with a story. So for example, Tim Ferriss, after you read his book, who is this guy, what he's doing, and you want to follow what is happening in his life, what kind of life experiments he's making, what kind of products he's testing, blah blah blah. So you subscribe to his email list to keep updated about what's going on in his life. Similarly, there's a company called Basecamp, and they're very open about how they run their business. They are advocates of remote work. They are very vocal about what they're doing, how they're doing, and sharing their philosophy. So if you want to follow how their company is maturing over time, what keeps them busy, you sign up to their email list and you get email updates from them. In our case, in the case of Ahrefs, on our blog, we're not really sharing anything about that would be
how you're
framed,
growing.
yeah,
your journey of a company.
Yes, yeah. That would be framed as a journey of our company that people would like to follow. What we publish on our blog are articles on all sorts of topics. They are related to SEO, but they're not connected to each other with some kind of timeline. So another good example was a blog by, I think it's a customer service software called Groove. I think their website is groovehq.com. So they had this amazing idea. Their blog title was "From Aha to Oh Shit." We're sharing everything we're learning on our journey from 0 to 100,000 per month manual MRR, a monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so this was amazing, and people wanted to sign up because they wanted to get updates of how their company is growing to that number. And it was amazing. In our case, we don't do this. We publish articles just based on search traffic potential. So we do keyword research. We figure out what kind of topics related to SEO people are looking for. And then there's next super important step, why we don't need email address. When we are reviewing those topics related to SEO that people are searching for, we think to ourselves, can we showcase Ahrefs tools and services within that article, within that topic? Do our tools and services help you with that SEO problem? If we cannot help you with that problem, we won't write this article. So if you go to Ahrefs blog and you examine our articles, 99% of them pitch Ahrefs in some kind of way. Not even pitch. We teach you how to solve a certain SEO issue, SEO problem, how to do specific SEO strategy with the help of Ahrefs. So this is our blog. So we feel free to promote our own tools and our own content. And this is why we don't need email list. When you search for something SEO related in Google, for example, how to do SEO audit, you search for this and we would rank somewhere in top 3. You click on our article and your intent is not to sign up for our email list. You want to learn how to do SEO audit on your website right now. So why would we show you some pop-ups, show you some lead magnets, sign up for this, sign up for that, when you're already it's called permission marketing. I think the term was coined by Seth Godin. You give us permission to talk to you and to explain you how to do SEO audit with Ahrefs tools, which we do. So when you read the article, we try to persuade you that Ahrefs is a good tool to do SEO audit, and that you would click the button and sign up for our trial and try out the tools instead of signing up for our email list. But a lot of people don't do this, of course. So a lot of people read the article and they don't sign up for our trial. So marketers usually advise to retarget those people, blah, blah, blah. We don't even do retargeting. What we do is we create more content on the topics of SEO. So the next time you have your next SEO problem, and you search in Google for the next SEO problem, you will land on our article again, and you will think to yourself, okay, these guys are solving like SEO audits, these guys help with link building, these guys help with keyword research. I'm going to like take a trial and see like how it all works. So this is our ideology, this is our like philosophy. We don't need email list because within the content we already try to convert you. But for some people, they don't have a product that could be featured as easily in their content. Especially I'm talking about, I don't know, coaches that sell info products. You cannot really like tout the awesomeness of your info product in every article you're writing. So for that reason, you have to create email list and you have to create a story behind your business so that people would be interested to follow you and eventually buy your info product. But yeah, for ours, because there are so many topics where we can showcase how our product works, we don't need email list, we convert straight to the trial.
And it's, I think, a big thing. I love the permission marketing, how that's sort of coined. But a big thing is like when people are consuming the content and you're not pushing your service onto them. You're giving them so much value without your intention to go, hey, we want you to come and work with us straight away. And I guess that's the difference between some people who have been in marketing for quite a while versus some people like, I'm creating content, this piece of content, I need them to take action on it. Whereas when you wrap that up in everything that we've just said in this podcast of the value, if you have such great value and they've given you permission, or they give themselves permission to spend time on your content, then, and they've gotten value from it, they don't need to sign up straight away. They can, the good value to provide can, I guess you could put it into like a value bank or a value vault, and it's going to start to grow and compound over time, this amount of value that they're going to get. And then once it gets to a certain level, that value is so high, the relationship with you is so high that they go, I've got such a great relationship with these guys. How silly would it be for me to not move forwards and use their service when I've learned so much? I've scaled my business X amount up to $2,000. I've gotten the free trial. Let's move on to the next logical step, because this bank vault of value and trust has grown so much. You don't need that list to be too super salesy straight away. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, but there's another very important point, and that is within your content, you still have to educate people on the like premium side on your business. People still have to learn from your content how they can pay you money to solve their issue. So in our case, like I said, 99% of articles on Ahrefs blog, they would show how to achieve things with Ahrefs. So while reading those articles, people educate themselves on how to use Ahrefs tools. So usually for SaaS companies, there's in SaaS, there's this concept of aha moment. When people sign up for your software, they click around and suddenly they figure out how to get value from your product. This is called aha moment. And there's like this marketing practice called onboarding that should funnel people towards like this aha moment. So the interesting thing is that for Ahrefs, aha moment happens before you sign up. So while you're reading the article, you haven't like started the trial, you haven't logged into the software, but you're reading an article about something, and we show you the interface of Ahrefs, and we show like with arrows where to click and what to do to achieve a certain result. And this is when you get aha moment. So you get aha moment, which is the reason why you go and sign up. So you already know what you want to do. So other than giving people a lot of value, which of course is important, because if people get value from you, they're grateful, they promote you, they become your customers, etc., etc., etc. But if you're just educating people about something, but not educating them on like the premium side of your business, like what's the next step, how they can pay you money to achieve something, like it would be very hard to make money from that content. So still, probably even if you're like in info products business and you have some info products that you want to sell, or you're a coach and you're selling your coaching, within your articles, whether whatever topic you're covering, you have to make sure that you can mention that you're a coach, that you have premium sessions, or that you have info products that you launch like 2 times per year or whatever. So people who read your content, other than getting value, they should understand how to get like the next level value from you. I think that there's a great concept that comes from Russell Brunson from his book .com Secrets, which called the value ladder. So you have like there's a ladder of value where people like it starts with a free layer, and then people are ready to pay for you. So some people are ready to pay like $7 to get your trial, and that's all they have. Some people are ready to subscribe to your software and pay you like $100 per month. And some people would happily pay you $10,000 if you fly to their office and teach their team to do stuff and like optimize the processes. So we don't do this at Ahrefs, but I'm just like hypothesizing. So,
but you have an annual. People could pay annually.
Yeah. People
and
can
they
pay
can just jump straight to that. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, mention mention what your business is in your content. Yeah. This is important.
I learned this in when I was doing a lot of sales training and sales calls, not just for myself but for other people as well. Is that they call it seeding. So if you just start planting seeds of what your service is and how you help people, and that's what case studies are for and stuff like that. And I think that's also it puts them in the position, like psychologically, if you're mentioning this in your content, or even if it's a case study, they put themselves in the shoes of the user or in the seat of the user, and they start to manifest that they could use it this way. And then once you do that in the content more and more, then you're just watering that seed, and it's starting to grow to a point where they're just like, I'm already basically using the software. Why don't I have it yet? Give it to me now.
Amazing explanation. Yes, this is exactly what I meant.
Yeah, I love that concept. And let's talk about, like, I'm so big on marketing, digital marketing, content marketing, all that sort of stuff, and the psychology of it. You've been in marketing for quite a while. What do you feel separates like somebody who's just starting out from a good marketer, somebody that understands marketing quite well? And I know that's a loaded question there. So for me, I feel what makes a good marketer is somebody who understands I'm saying this so I'm not putting you on the spot, just what I feel is a good marketer, and I'd love to hear what you say. But I feel the difference between somebody who's just starting out as a marketer versus somebody that's really good is that person who's great has been learning the psychology of marketing, not just the tactics and like, how do I like get a pixel on my site, or how do I like do keyword research and be too data driven, but the psychology of how people react to what they see. That's what I feel is the difference between a good marketer and someone who's just starting out. What do you feel is separates a good marketer from somebody who's just starting?
Yeah, I think what you said is great. And I can go one level above this, so Perfect. I can zoom out even more.
I love it.
So what I think makes a great marketer is a person who is not obsessed about tactics or strategies. Like how do I get traffic here? How does retargeting work, or how to lower my CPC or whatever, or all those like little things, little hacks, like growth hacking and all that. So great marketer is a person who doesn't care. It's not that doesn't care, doesn't obsess about marketing strategies. What he or she does obsess is how to create the kind of product and how to explain the product to people in a way that they would want to buy it. A great marketer understands that it's all about the product. Usually when I talk about the importance of the actual product for marketing, I tell the very famous story of Coca-Cola when they did like a blind test with Pepsi. Like it is almost in every marketing book. And they figured out that people prefer Pepsi because it's like sweeter. So what they did next is they released new Coke, which had sweeter taste than Pepsi. And they thought that, okay, we're going to like kill them. We're going to nail the market, blah, blah, blah. But new Coke flopped because people wanted like the good old taste of Coca-Cola that they love. So the takeaway of that story is that marketers were actually doing marketing research. They were trying to figure out what the market wants, and they were changing the product based on the market. Now, the other thing is that they didn't quite understand like what does the market want, and that people don't want just sweeter cola, they want cola as it is. But the main idea is that the job of a marketer is to understand the market and understand what kind of product, how to create the kind of product that market would want. So all those like marketing strategies, how to get traffic from Pinterest, how to get traffic from Instagram, how to be upvoted on Reddit. Now, the best way to be upvoted on Reddit is to create the kind of product that someone would submit on Reddit for you without you having to do anything, and that others would love so much that they would upvote it naturally. No growth hacks, just create the best damn product. And this again goes back to being the expert in your industry. Know your industry well enough, because like I said, I would be a terrible marketer for dental products. I have no idea like what makes dental products awesome. Probably if I would spend like 5 years in that industry, I would become a great marketer, because I would study like everything, I would understand the industry and all that. So yeah, being great marketer, it's not about knowing like those marketing tactics. They are super easy to learn. Read a few books, read a few blogs, and you understand. It's about understanding the actual industry, whether you're in dental industry, the beauty industry, the pools, and like how to take care of your pool industry. That's the thing.
Oh, I think that's so good. I've got a perfect example of how that's played out for me in my business, in my life. One thing that you mentioned is like you need to understand your audience and your customers so much. I think that's like the first step, right? And then something that I find a lot of people, especially if they're new in business, is they're very scared of feedback. Most human beings are scared of negative feedback. But I think they forget that feedback is the most important thing that we need for us to grow. And what you're saying is like your product needs to evolve to give your customer audience exactly what they want. And for me, I've gone away and I do studies and I speak to my audience so much, and they're saying, I'm buying a business and I want to buy a business, but what's the next step? Like they're buying a business and making thousands of dollars a month, tens of thousands of dollars a month. They want the next step. And I didn't have that next step for them. So that's why I created a growing online businesses course for them. Yeah. And that was like, I had to get over some fear that I had, which was asking for negative feedback. And I needed to get that feedback to make sure I could evolve my product to ensure that I'm giving them what they actually wanted, right? And I think that's like what you're saying with the Coke and Pepsi thing is like about the product is like you hit the nail on the head. And I just love that. And I want to use that now if you let me, because it's just such a good example of what a good marketer is, because it's not about those tactics. Like it's just hit massive light bulbs for me. And I hope the audience have got that as well. It's like the product is everything. Hey.
Yeah. And your job as a marketer, like marketer, the word comes from the word market. And what is market? Market is where some people come to sell their products and other people come and buy those products. So your job is like to watch the market and understand it first and foremost, over all those like little things like CTR, like Google Analytics filters and blah, blah, blah.
And that's just going to make you so much better at your craft and what you do, and put you higher as an industry leader. Tim, I have to thank you so much. We've gone over the time, but the value's been just so good, so we couldn't just stop it off. We could keep going, I feel, for another hour, especially on marketing. I love it. And I know that you're being a CMO, you do too. But I just want to say thanks so much for jumping on. Where can people find out more about you, Ahrefs? What sort of links should I be putting in the show notes for everyone?
Thanks a lot for inviting me. And people can follow me on Twitter. From time to time, I tweet about things that are of interest to me. And recently, I also started a new YouTube channel. So we have YouTube channel for Ahrefs. So if people want to learn SEO, we have YouTube channel. Just search for Ahrefs on YouTube, and you'll see a lot of videos, tutorials that are free, and you can learn like how to use our tools before you even pay us $7, which I actually advise people to do. Just watch our videos first, and then you will realize, do you want to pay us even $7 or not? And I launched a second YouTube channel, which is called SaaS Marketing Vlog, where I'm trying to share something that we've talked about. I'm trying to share our kind of story, our journey in marketing, what we're doing, how does it work for us, what is our thought process behind doing some things. So if someone has some kind of productized business like SaaS, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would be happy to see you there.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. For everybody who is listening, if you're wondering what the hell is going on with my forehead, Tim and I were just talking about it before we hit the record button. I scratched my head pretty badly on the sand after getting smashed by a wave out surfing on the weekend. The worst thing is my neck, but it's coming good. And for you, the listeners, I hope you got a bunch of value. Like I said before, Tim, and to the audience, you guys, is like, I'm so big on feedback, and especially any type of feedback. Please give me a massive favor, give Tim a massive favor, and go away and give us some feedback, and by leaving us a review, because it helps me bring more great guests to the show and more great topics to the show. So I'd really appreciate that, because it's not just for me, it actually is for you guys. So go away and do that. And yeah, look forward to speaking to everybody on the next one.